There is a business model that's been around since the 1950s. Law firms use it. So do consultants, accountants, and advisors. It generates hundreds of billions of dollars a year. The model is really simple. Charge by the hour. The more hours you work, the more you make. AI just broke it. And Thomson Reuters published a 22 pages report with hard data providing exactly how AI broke it. The report is about legal industry. However, the business model that they're documenting works for any professional service that sells time. If you bill by the hour, this is the data showing why the model just became obsolete. Here's how hourly billing works and why it's fundamentally incompatible with AI. Well, in most businesses, efficiency is a good thing because if you do the work faster and your margins improve, automating the process, then you make more money with less cost. In hourly billing, however, efficiency is your enemy. For example, if you complete a project in 5 hours instead of 10, that you just cut your revenue in half. Your clients are absolutely happy because they paid less, but you also made less. The more efficiency you get at your job, the less money you make. This creates a perverse incentive. Basically, it's saying, don't get too efficient. Don't automate too much. Don't make the work too easy. Here's one of the oldest professional service in the world. Lawyers rely exactly on this business model. This worked because there was a ceiling to efficiency when there's human involved. A lawyer could only get to do the work so fast, the same as a consultant could only optimize so much because human limits the cap of this downside. And then AI arrived. And now here's what Thomson Reuters report shows is happening in legal. And I'm walking you through this because the pattern is identical for any hourly billing business. The legal industry, as every other industry, spends big on AI. Like their tech spending is up more than 9% year on year. If you look at the data in 2025, their knowledge management tools is up more than 10%. Both growing at 7 to 8 points above the inflation rate. It's really important to compare to inflation because then you will know it is the fastest real growth in how much they spend in tech of those law firms have ever seen before. And at the same time, they also have a really high talent cost. Their talent cost was more than 10% compared to the year before. They didn't replace people with AI, at least not like everyone's saying about in tech industry, how AI will replace engineer. But instead, they added AI on top of people. And this happened only because there was still a really strong demand for lawyers until Q4 last year. So even like what's said in the reports that AI absorbs about 15 to 20% of the tedious tasks, such as bad drafts, the research dead end, while the associates still bill the same hours. The upside here is that the firm isn't taking on the waste as they did in the pre-AI era because now the waste is handled by AI. Until now, at least on paper, everyone wins because the firm keeps its headcounts, the associate stays busy on higher volume work, and AI just do all the tedious and boring tasks that used to be handled by human. It's kind of clever, right? It is. Until demand drops. The report forecasts contractions from Q1 2026. So the contraction is ongoing. So now you've got firms that loaded up with both AI and people, a dual cost structure that only makes sense at full capacity, but now it's heading into a downturn. If demand drops, what do you think they'll cut first? The AI or the people? Because that answer will essentially tell you everything about whether this industry actually believes in technology that it just spends billions on. But the cost structure is only half the problem. The other half is what happens when the clients can see the efficiency that's supposed to be hidden away or the kind of efficiency that's supposed to be returned to the clients. Until year 2025, there are still more than 90% of all legal bills still run through standard hourly rate arrangements, the same structure from 1913 invented by a Boston lawyer. The rates also keep climbing since then. Average rate at top firms cost $1,000 per hour in 2025. Before the pandemic ended, firms could argue that their rates were tracking inflation. Now, rates are growing well above it. The justification here is AI makes our work better, so each hour is worth more. But here's the problem. The client is also looking at the same AI as the firm, and clients are reaching the opposite conclusion. The firm sees AI and thinks, we deliver more value per hour now, and a brief that took 10 hours still costs the same, but it's better quality. Our rates are just fine. Maybe we should even charge more, which they actually do charge more. It's written in the report. The client, however, sees AI and thinks, you did the work in half the time. Why am I paying the same? Why am I even paying more? And this isn't just happening in the legal industry. Here's the latest news. KPMG hired an external audit firm and then asked for a lower fee because they knew the firm was using AI to do the work faster. Meanwhile, though, KPMG charges its clients a premium, arguing because it uses AI, so it delivers more value per hour. KPMG is not even hiding behind different logic. They are using the exact same AI justification in both directions. That's even worse than hypocrisy. It's shamelessness. The Thomson Reuters report confirms this standoff once more. Clients want billing that reflects AI efficiency. Firms, however, want to pocket the gains. Both sides are waiting for the other to blink. But here's what the firms haven't figured out yet. The clients aren't going to blink. They are going to leave. Claude's legal AI plugin costs $200 a month. It drafts contracts, triage NDAs, track vendors, builds legal briefing templates. However, here's what the clients actually pay for when they hire an external law firm: the judgments, the independence, and the risk transfer, the expertise to navigate the gray area, the credibility to stand before a regulator, and the liability insurance if things went wrong. However, under the current billing model, most clients paid a routine work that requires neither judgment or independence. And of course, that's $200 AI tools can't replace judgment. It can't stand before the SEC or indemnify a board, but it can do a routine work, which also means that clients no longer need to pay a $40,000 bill to access that $4,000 worth of judgment. They can bring the routine task in-house and only hire a firm for what the firm is actually good at. And the data shows this is already happening. It's that 52% of the corporate leaders expect to move more work in-house over the next 5 years, and which is expected. So you're watching this death spiral. AI makes routine work cheap. Clients bring routine work in-house. Only complex work stays with the firm. Complex work alone, however, can't fully support the headcounts that routine works used to pay for. And this isn't just happening to the law industry. For management consultants, for example, it's market research and slide decks. For interim C-levels, for example, it's audit and vendor evaluations. Different tasks, but the pattern is the same. The standoff between firms seeking higher rates and the clients wanting lower bills, which we discussed earlier, is already over. The clients adopt AI as quickly or even faster than the firm will do because to the clients it's not about making a margin, but about immediately cost saving that they can see and they can grasp. So now, this question every hourly billing business has to answer. If your clients can do the routine work themselves, and the routine work is what pays for your entire operation, what's left? Fortunately, there's an answer, and it's not new. It's been hiding in plain sight for decades. M&A advisor charges based on transaction value, tech consultants quote value-based pricing, or investment bankers take a percentage of a deal. These models work and are compatible with AI. If anything, they benefit from it because the faster they deliver, the better their margins are. So why isn't everyone switching? The answer are actually quite simple. Because first, hourly billings have been profitable for decades and it's stress-free. For example, if a client just doesn't follow your advice and fail, it's not your problem. You got paid for the hours regardless of the outcome. Switching to value-based pricing means that the firm is now responsible for the result. That's scary, especially if you spent 40 years billing by the hour. The Thomson Reuters report also shows that firms are waiting, hoping that they could keep the old model just a little bit longer, still stubbornly waiting for their clients to blink first. Thomson Reuters titled this report Peak Prosperity, and the full lines below. 22 pages of data from 180 plus law firms, and every page says the same thing. Every professional service built on hourly billing is facing the same fork. You either charge for the value you create, or you watch your clients replace you. And that's what the data already shows. Well, if this video changes how you think about pricing your business, definitely share it with someone who still bills by the hour, because they need to see the data before their clients do. And if you're not subscribed yet, subscribe. I break down reports like this every week, and go to my newsletter so you can see all the data and charts in detail, so you don't have to read the 22 pages yourself. Drop a comment and tell me which other AI reports that you would like me to read next. Thanks for watching. See you next week.